This is episode 36 of What's Been Better. Let me tell y'all, 2022 owes me nothing. How about you, Lori?
I'm going to say 2022 doesn't owe me either. In fact, I'm so grateful for this year. I've learned so much.
Yeah. This week, we're reviewing everything that we have seen, heard, and learned in our first season of What's Been Better and what we hope for next season.
Yep, you heard it. There will be a next season.
Yay. Well, we're going to get started, but before we do, in case you forgot, or if you're brand new, we are still on here cussing.
That's for damn sure.
Hi, y'all. Hi, Lori.
Hey, Sylvia, happy end of the year.
Yay. Cheers to that. Let me get a little swig before we get started.
Yes. All right. Swig it up, girl. Swig it up.
Right. For once, because I never drink while we're doing this. So I figured it would be, this is like our office Christmas party or something. So
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Might as well. Well, you ready?
Well, yeah. Sylvia, what's been better?
Everything.
Okay.
I got to meet some really cool people this weekend, and I got to reconnect with some people that I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen since before I moved to Huntsville. And they were like really close friends. They had a baby. They moved to the suburbs, the whole spiel. So it was good to see them and see their not so baby. Like, let's put it like this. I took the baby's newborn pictures because I do photography also. That's how long it had been because the baby was talking and walking now.
What?
Yes.
So you went to Huntsville this weekend?
No. I actually was here, but I went all the way out of town because they don't live in Atlanta to see them. And then I went to an Angel Tree event, and it was just good to do a little service and connect with people. And yeah, so I just had a good weekend. It felt good. And one more thing, yesterday was a 1-year anniversary of me getting my locks. I was very, very shocked about that because it came across my little memories and I was like, oh my God, I made it a year and I didn't get frustrated and I didn't cut them. Good me.
It was funny because I saw your picture and I see the growth and it's beautiful. And you said something about cutting it, like, you're surprised that you didn't cut it or something like that. And I'm thinking, wow, you were thinking that you might have done that?
Yeah. I either get bored or frustrated with my hair very, very easily. So I was like, it could go a few times. So I was just shocked that I didn't cut it, that I just let it grow and let it do its thing. And here we are. So
yeah, well, it really looks nice.
Yeah. And I said in the video, the original video, I said after I got them that I was going to go find peace. And I was like, I know, but I didn't realize, and I said it yesterday, I didn't realize that didn't have anything to do with my hair.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
You just speak things into existence and they happen.
Exactly.
So what's been better for you, Lori?
Well, I had my implant surgery and my face is healed.
Yay.
It's been like a whole week now. And I think I don't know if we talked about that last week or if we talked about it right before I had the surgery.
We talked about it, of you getting like the implants done, but I don't think that the crowns were ready yet. So
so it's going to take a minute for that to take place. But I just feel better.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. We did talk about it last week. But yeah, so I feel totally healed. And so this week has been really a really good week for me.
Good.
A lot of learning, constantly learning. Life is when you start this journey of choosing to have peace, like really set intentions, knowing that you can set intentions, knowing that you can choose how you feel, things come at you. And
fast.
And it's just to check out to see if you really believe what you believe.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of that, and but this week has been great. I don't have any complaints.
That's good. Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to say I'm also in shock that we have a total of now 42 episodes. Like, when we started this, did you think we would get this far?
No, so that's the short answer.
Okay.
right? But I didn't know what was going to take place. Like I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I decided to say yes. I think
Yeah.
we talked about that. I'm not going to live in fear and allow that fear to grip me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we talked about doing podcasts at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And the reality of now 42 episodes in is wild.
It is very wild. I sometimes wish that people heard like all the behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
because if they really knew what it took to get those 42 episodes and episodes going missing and things having to
Mm-hmm.
be re-recorded and
Mm-hmm. Oh
bad
my God.
audio and I mean just the reason why there's no video sometimes, just all these things. If they saw how the sausage was made, I wonder what people would think. And I wonder also if it would have been easier because it takes a lot to do this every week. It takes a whole lot. Like I I just can't even believe how much I've learned. I really thought, okay, we'll do the first four.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if we want to put them out. We'll see what, the people who were mentioned say. We'll just see. We'll just see. I think that was just it for me every week. I was like, we'll just see. We'll just
Mm-hmm.
see. Because I was all in. I had already done a podcast. I'd already done a couple of podcasts. I had already, run a show. I'd already done all those things before. So I was kind of like, all right, what's another one? I
Wow.
think I was more afraid of this one had to do with me. I wasn't telling the
Mm.
news. I wasn't telling my opinion. I wasn't talking about politics or numbers or,
Right.
nothing. It was like, peel it off and here's Sylvia and this is what you're going to get. And
The
before,
raw,
yeah,
unedited version of you.
but I would have never, I don't think I could have ever done that. And I thank you so much for like agreeing to it
Yeah.
because it helped me to just go, fuck it, let's do it. Like, this what you get,
Right. Right.
this where we at. And I think exposing myself and just having everybody that listens as an accountability partner, even
Mm-hmm.
and the transparency in all of it it has put me in a place where I'm like, Sylvia, you have to love Sylvia today. Like every
Right.
day is a
Right.
choice to just be like, look here, you're
Right.
fine. We're fine. Just keep going. Just
Right.
every
And
day.
and you know what's so amazing about this whole thing is the transformation that has occurred.
Yeah.
Like you and I are different people because we chose to do this.
Yeah.
Right. Like here I was a nervous wreck. Like I said that I was going to do this, but
Mm-hmm.
the feeling of doing this, the nervousness behind it and pushing through is a whole process.
Yeah.
Right. We got to cut real quick.
So, what exactly were you nervous about? Like, what you said you were nervous about doing this, but like, what exactly were you nervous about?
I was nervous about like simple things like, do I know enough? Right.
Okay.
Just kind of questioning myself. Laura, you're going to be speaking to who are you going to be speaking to? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then am asking myself questions like, you know, hey, are you ready for this? You have stage fright, like trying to remind myself of what was
Oh,
when
okay.
when I'm a different person now.
Yeah.
And so even when those because they're just negative thoughts trying to come in, it's like inviting you to feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just decided no matter what the thoughts are, my intention is to do my best.
Yeah.
And so that's what I set out to do. And just looking at since what I think the end of January,
Yeah.
maybe the beginning of February, we are we're different people now. Like
Completely different people, like
like
very different people.
right. And so the question about do you know enough, that's not even a question anymore
Mm-hmm.
because I know what I know and no one can take that from me.
Yeah.
And so or it's hey, do you have stage fright? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have something to say and I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And then when I think about our combination, like our teaming up and partnering, I
Mm-hmm.
love this. Like,
Yeah.
never would have thought, oh, that's another thing. Just the fact that you are my client.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Like
like, how
people
the hell
still,
does
when they
that
hear
gonna
that,
work?
they're like, what the fuck do you mean?
Right,
That
right.
you talk to your therapist? I'm like, y'all.
Yes. So I had all those questions like, is that gonna work?
Mm-hmm.
What's that combination gonna be like? And it turned out to be so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the people who came on and
Yes.
their courage,
Yeah.
you know, to say some of the things, and then you and Drew having the courage to share your story, and then man,
I
you
I'm
share mine.
still
It just
stuck.
it's wow.
Because I know that he is so quiet and so like reserved and doesn't really talk about us to anybody hardly. I mean, it's you have to. I don't know if you've ever seen Will Smith with iRobot.
Uh huh.
You know how the hologram is always like, you didn't ask the right question, and then the hologram just like goes away. Unless
Right.
you ask the right question, they don't answer.
Right.
That's Drew.
Oh
So for
wow.
him to get on here and talk about us and talk about me, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna let this
Mm,
roll. Just let it keep
right.
rolling.
Yeah.
For my sister to just
Right.
be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. What? I
I
was
know.
Oh, and I think honestly, I think I said this a million times and I'll probably keep saying it forever. I don't care how many seasons we do. I think hearing Chris and listening to his story,
Hmm.
it was life changing. It was
Right.
really life
Right.
changing for me.
Yeah.
Talking
Yes.
to him and being his friend is life changing every day.
I love that. I love that. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that he um, was open,
Yeah.
and candid, saying the things that he said.
Yeah.
Uh, I know it made a difference to the listeners.
Yeah.
I was very thankful for Tori to speak. I think
Yes.
she was in Spain at the time.
Yeah, she was. She was. I remember
Right.
that was a lot to like get all that together, and then we just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked, and it was so interesting. Like I
Yeah.
I was not expecting anything. I don't think I had any real expectations. I just kept going, I will just see. Like every week I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if Lauren wants to keep doing it, I'll keep doing it. Cause
Right.
I was all in. I had nothing
Right.
that I didn't have the goals that I have now. I didn't have plans like I have now. I didn't have like the want and the desire that I have now,
Mm.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So it was like I was just open. I was
Right.
like,
So there
whatever
was
we want to do.
right. There was such an evolution then that took place.
Yeah.
We just evolved. In one of my clients, I had a few clients to listen to the episodes, and and again, the invitation to be nervous, right?
Yeah.
I was just like, listen, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But one, she, who listened to it, she said that, hey, I could tell there was a evolving that took place from the time that you all started till now, and how
Yeah.
you kept getting better and better and better. And I appreciated that. I appreciated her being honest, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the fact that she liked the episodes. I really appreciate people listening. It just
Yes.
really does my heart good to have people listen, and hopefully their lives have been changed as we've been changed
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
by doing this. Yeah. So,
I really hope that we continue to grow, but I'm okay if this is our listeners right here
mhm, mhm,
because the messages that we sometimes get, the texts that I get, the people who are just who I haven't talked to in forever, and I tell them about the show and they go, okay, I'm going to listen to that. And then I get a message later that's just like, oh my God, like
right.
it feels good.
Yeah.
And it's like a little bit more step forward for me of like, okay, keep going. Okay, keep
Hmm.
going, keep going.
Yeah.
Because it really is a choice every day after those first couple of episodes to keep going for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, because I was just broken at the beginning.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really was. And to put
Right.
myself back together with the help of so many people
Mm-hmm.
I will never take it for granted. I
Right.
don't take any of this for granted. I
Right.
really don't.
Something that comes up too is your learning, like the things that you had to learn, the learning curve that took place for
Yeah.
you as you did all the background. Like, let me just let y'all know, none of this shit is me. I get on here and I talk and I speak from my heart, and of course Sylvia does too, but honey, she does all of the things. She does the editing, she does the the background of the artwork. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's so
Yeah.
many things. Sylvia, you are phenomenal. I just need you to know how
Thank
much I
you.
appreciate you.
I appreciate you
I
too.
just, yeah, I appreciate that you appreciate me. But let
Yeah.
me tell you, you have been the backbone of this your podcast. I just really want you to know that. Like, the work that you've done has not gone for me unseen. Like, man,
Cool.
and the thoughts that you had to, I mean, the things you had to come up with, and the research and all of that.
Let me tell
It's
you,
amazing
because
to me.
I thought I knew stuff and I didn't know shit.
Right, right.
I I I didn't know social media. I
Mm-hmm.
still am learning social media.
Yeah.
I had my little TikTok and my little Instagrams and
Mm-hmm.
laughed with people on Twitter every weekend, and that was it. Like, I had no idea about like how these algorithms work. I had no idea about like imagery and marketing, and I knew nothing.
Mm.
You couldn't have told me that I was going to learn WordPress this year. No clue.
Wow.
Like, I just I didn't know. I had no clue.
Right.
And I'm grateful for all of it because, yeah, I learned a bunch of shit that is like, all right, we still don't have to go back to being in the classroom. You can keep going. You can keep going. Like, it was unintentional, but I see now that that is intentional for me. But I see now that it's like, yeah, it was unintentional, but it's intentional. Like, that's always the goal, is to like keep learning these new skills. I don't know if it's necessarily now to run away from the classroom as much as it is, but it
Mm-hmm.
is for my own peace,
Right.
is to keep learning. Like,
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I'm appreciative that anybody else is appreciative of all of the work that goes into this, because I don't think people know. Like,
No, 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 people
oh
don't know
no,
unless you're a podcaster, you right? And unless
yeah,
you do this, no,
yeah,
you won't know all the ins and outs.
yeah,
Like, Sylvia had to really learn some things, and I just again, one, I admire it. Like, when you started to tell me the things that you were doing, I'm thinking to myself, oh, um, I couldn't do that. Like, had it,
yeah,
so this is the other thing I would say. Had it not been for Sylvia, this podcast would not be,
no,
because I did not have the actual time to put in like you have put in.
yeah,
And it's made a difference.
yeah,
Like, it's really made a difference. And you've encouraged me more than you'll ever know. Like, you have really
cool,
been such an encouragement for me, which pushes me. Like, so when I know you've done that back work, I'm like, I'm gonna come in here with my A game. Like, I'm coming here strong. I'm gonna say some shit,
no, for real.
like, I'm
And
not
those
gonna
are the
hold back.
those weeks happen. Like, those times, they like, y'all, there's a reason why there's always a snippet, a lesson, a golden nugget, or something, because Lori comes in here and says some shit that I'm like, hold on, let me go write that down. Or there are times that, like, y'all don't know, I will record this show, hit end, have a whole session with Lori, and then go and like journal, take notes, do whatever afterward for a whole nother hour. Like, none of this happens in the little bit of time that you hear recorded. Like,
Right,
it is
right,
hours of work for one episode, but
right,
it's worth it because I want everybody to hear all of this, because I know someone either is not going to go to therapy, is not going to read a self-help book, is not going to seek out help from anyone. They're just
Mm.
not. And if this is doing that for someone, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
take all the time, all the all the
Right.
crying, all the
Yeah.
headache, all the Lori, I can't find the episode. It's missing. I don't know what to do. What do we got? I guess we got to re-record the whole thing, or we
And,
just
and
record something
and
else.
we do. And
Yes.
that shit happens too. Like we'll re-record something or
Yeah.
something won't sound right. We'll get in here and we'll knock it out. We'll
You
do
just have
two
to.
episodes back to back.
Yes.
It's
It
just
just,
it's just wild.
yeah, it is a lot. It is a whole lot. I mean, 3 episodes in a week because we're like, what are we going to do? We can't
Right.
find this, whatever. But it, it all worked.
Yeah.
I'm not
I think
complaining about it. I will never
right.
take it back. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because no
These
one wants to see this live. I'm just telling y'all.
well, sometimes, I think at some point we will.
Yes.
And this is the growing pains. These are the things about, um, you know, learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Mm-hmm.
taking these steps, falling, getting back up. We're learning how to walk here. We're babies at this.
Yeah.
And again, which goes back to my appreciation and Sylvia's appreciation for this audience, that you all are here supporting us through the growth, through the beginning of this. It really says a lot. And I just appreciate you all as listeners. And I
Mm-hmm.
hope your lives have changed as well. I would totally love to hear
Yes.
how the people who've listened all this time, what's different in their lives, you know,
Yes. We say that
what's
every week.
different.
We still want to hear from you. Please say something. Text us,
Yeah.
DM us, Twitter,
Yeah.
anything. Like,
It doesn't matter.
absolutely.
We would just love to hear how your life is better.
Yeah.
That's very important. And Sylvia, I'm gonna jump in and talk about uh, my total intentions for this podcast, and
Okay.
that is to share with people who might not come to the office, who might not, really want to share what's going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to share this information in such a way that your lives can change even if you don't go to anybody. If you are just hearing and you're hearing something that's a little bit life changing for you,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, I need to make some changes in my life, and this is making a difference. Just hearing this podcast,
Yeah.
that was my intention, to say something here, say something there that might make your life a little bit better.
Yeah. My intention was to be okay with asking for help
Mm-hmm.
and to finally confront the things that I needed help with because I
Okay.
was just kind of like, it'll be fine. I'll figure it
Okay.
out.
Right.
Or I'll just try something else. I was just always putting a band-aid on something that was gaping
Wow.
or ignoring, the gaping wound, still not even putting a band-aid on it, and running from my emotions and
Right.
running from my feelings and not tackling anything that was going to trigger any kind of cry fest or trigger any kind of thoughts of harm or any of those things. I was just kind of like, well, we'll just, batten that down a little bit. It'll be fine
Mm-hmm.
later,
Mm-hmm.
later, later,
Mm-hmm.
later. And this has been a test of putting it on the tip of my nose.
I hear you.
So
Sounds like confronting the thing.
yeah, it
Yeah.
really has been. It really has been. So um I think I have also grown accustomed to believing that better is possible now. I would say it
Mm-hmm.
until now I finally believe it. It was like, oh, okay, this
Right.
is this is it now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So another reason why I think for me, um, sharing this information and really speaking to this audience, Sylvia sharing her information. I know a lot of our listeners have similar situations that go on in their lives. And to hear how she has dealt with, her issues, and to be as candid as she has been and vulnerable, so that you can hear this too and know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Like I know we all go through some things. Like I've been sharing too some of the things that really I can't think the average person would really say on on the
No,
airwaves.
not at all.
you know,
But
but it's to really kind of put to rest this shame thing,
yeah,
right? Like, listen, we don't have to be ashamed of the things we have been ashamed of. We all go through some of the same things,
yeah, yeah.
and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And shame keeps us in the same pattern. We, believe it or not, we do some of the same things over and over because of the shame. But if we start to really put shame to rest, it changes things.
Yeah,
So if hearing us has you live a little bit better, then that's worth
that's it.
everything to me.
Yeah, that's it. Like there's nothing better than that. Like if if me going through everything I've gone through and me saying, okay, I'm choosing to live, help somebody else choose to live, cool. We've done it. Like that's it. It just works.
Right. Right.
So
So,
yeah.
well, what's some of the episodes that you, as you think back on this year, what episode comes out to you, or any episodes that come out that you find that was really, really good?
Um I absolutely loved rationalizing. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was a really good one. Um, I obviously the first four are hard to listen to for different reasons,
Mm-hmm.
but if I need a moment of like I'm down and I'm like, no, no, we're not going back too far down. I kind of sometimes
Right.
go back to them.
Uh-huh.
Um, and obviously, I love my love story. I loved telling that story. I thought it was so funny. I will never forget you taking Drew out about the girl that he gave the hug to. I will never forget that. Um, I absolutely thought that was hilarious. So, yeah, I think those are my favorites. Aside from like I said, like Chris or my sister being on here, like
hmm
that was just those were great. But what about you?
I like relationships. We talked of, when we talk about
Mm-hmm.
relationships, religion, that was
Ooh,
interesting. When I
that was a
kind of went back
crazy one.
talking about,
Yeah.
my background, and so that was me being candid, and
Right.
that was wild, when Tommy and I talked about how we got together, that
Mm-hmm.
was some candid shit there too. And my goodness, even when I reflect back on that relationship, at the beginning of of the relationship up until now, I looked at how much we've grown.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that was fun. That was
Yeah.
fun. And then just some of the things, like when we talked about the readings, um, the
Yeah.
different books
Mm-hmm.
that I think are really good, um, for us to pick up, and like boundaries and the four agreements and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Those were really good. I cannot wait for next season. Um, I don't know if we're gonna go ours again or we're gonna have like a different theme. I don't know. I don't know yet, y'all. Do
Yeah.
don't ask about that if you're thinking about it.
Right.
I don't know yet. If you have an idea, tell us the idea. We'll just see
Yeah.
if it'll work. But
Right.
I'm
Right.
just interested to talk to more people. Um, I really, really am interested to talk to people about their breakthroughs and um, what they've gone through and how they got to this point and what how they're walking in their purpose. Um, I think that's going to be a really integral part of next season.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully though, let's just all knock on wood a couple of times that the beginning of next year is very smooth and that we don't need a bunch of episodes of me rehearsing. That was, I
Yeah.
think, if I've taken a lesson from this
Mm-hmm.
whole entire experience, it has been how to not judge and how to not rehearse
Mm-hmm.
because those two things I think have been the most game changing for me.
Okay. And
honestly.
so when you say rehearse, meaning like ruminating over things,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And
Yep.
that was a good one too.
Yeah.
Like when, just even like the other night, I couldn't sleep. And there was this ruminating that was taking place.
Yeah.
And even that word, because who uses ruminate for real though,
No one. No one. No one.
but it really put in perspective for me how we do rehearse, how we go
Mm-hmm.
back over and over and over something that we really don't want to talk about or think about,
Yeah.
and really stop ourselves in our tracks to say, you know what, let me decide to do something different,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so next season, I would love to talk to more individuals. Yes, I agree with you, Sylvia, about their breakthroughs, about things that happen in their lives that weren't so lovely,
Mm-hmm.
and they overcame it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also like to um, deal with some of the things that we hear in the media,
Yeah.
because we are media driven these days, and we are, whether we want to believe it or not, we're very affected by what happens. Like
Mm-hmm.
this year with Brittany Griner, her coming back home, what that means. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to take a deep dive into
Yeah.
that. Just like we talked about Deion Sanders last time. Um, the things that people do affect us,
Yeah.
and we have an opinion about it, good,
Mm-hmm.
bad, or indifferent. And I think it would be good to speak about this in this space, so that we can break some of the things down and help us to have, maybe we walk away with a different perspective,
Yeah.
and, you know, maybe we can look at things differently, you know?
Yeah. I I'm so ready for it. But I'm also
Mm-hmm.
like, I need a break for 5 minutes because, as we said, this takes a lot to do. So it will
Mm-hmm.
be good to relax and not scramble and not call you in a panic. And
Mm-hmm.
also for you to not have to remind me to not stress about all of this. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about so many things because, as we know, I am a news junkie, a media junkie, all things that are pop culture, all things that are
Mm-hmm.
politics, all things that are local. Because yeah, there'll be a lot of things going on at the beginning of next year, even in Atlanta, that I'm going to want to talk about. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for the next season and what that's going to look like and how we're going to do it. So
Right.
we got a
Yeah.
lot to talk about, a lot to figure out, but it'll be great because this has been great.
This has been wonderful.
Well, I got nothing else. What about you?
Um, no, other than I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas,
Yes.
and that you spend time with the people who are important to you. And if you heard me, I didn't say, hey, just hang out with family and things like that, because
Right.
family could be a trigger for you. So whomever means the most to you, that bring you joy, spend time with people who bring you joy.
Yep.
And um, in this season, one other thing that I want to say is that the holiday season, um, people could be sad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there have been a lot of deaths, or um, it could be some sad things that happen over the holidays. So while it's really nice and fun for some, it's really sad and depressing for others.
Yeah.
And my encouragement to you is to, one, imagine what you would like to experience this year. Like, for instance, if you have a family member who's no longer here and their birthday is around this time, how can you celebrate their lives instead of deciding? Because we plan to feel away, Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear people say, man, this season, it's a rough season for me. I get so depressed around this time. And my question is, how do you allow that? Right.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
is it possible for you to allow another experience? And if that family member were here, how would they want you to experience this time?
Yeah.
I would like for you to really challenge yourself to choose a different feeling.
Yeah.
Because you can. You can really celebrate their lives. Really what would they want? Would they want you sad? I know they wouldn't.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I just want you
Okay.
to enjoy your time.
So then that brings up for me not only this, but Merry Christmas, but happy holidays, because there are so many holidays around the world that are
Yeah.
happening. Um,
Right.
and go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated, in the words
Mm-hmm.
of Chris Good, who reminds me of that all the time. You do not have to go where you don't want to go. You
Yeah.
don't.
You don't have to subject yourself
No,
to any hardship.
no.
Again, you get to choose
Yes,
your destiny. You get to choose how you want to live your life. You get to choose your happiness.
yes.
It is your choice. Yes.
All right. Well, we thank you. Cheers to you. Cheers to us. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you for going on this journey with me and being patient and being encouraging and just all of the things. Thank you. And thank you
Thank
to
you.
everybody else for listening.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you.
Yes, we love you. Take care. That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagon Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.